This way I don't have to help you. There we go. Straps are good.
Hey everybody, this is hauling your boat out. So right now we are getting the 35-ton travel lift over the water. My job essentially is to make sure that the wheels are lining up, because just a couple inches in the wrong direction and things can go pretty bad. But we're positioning the lift straps right over the water in the slip, and we're going to go ahead and lower those straight down into the water. The plastic covering on the straps is there just to make sure that we don't scuff up the hull of the boat or the fancy paint job that you might have. Now, as we get into position, the owner of the sailboat is going to be slowly coming in from the mooring. We're lucky these days. All we have to do is call him on the cell phone. A long time ago, it would have been a lot of waving and hand gesturing, but we don't have to do that anymore. So once we get those all lowered down, I've sped this up. We want our boat owner to come in, no fenders on the boat. Some yards might have you do that, but not ours. We don't want them to get caught on the straps. We don't need any lines. We just need you and your boat. And this owner's actually single-handing his boat into the slip, bow first, because it's kind of a smaller sailboat. This is the appropriate speed to be coming in, nice and slow. Remember, the fastest you want to go is how hard you want to hit something. So that's sort of a rule we live by. As he comes in, we're going to have him go ahead and slow the boat down almost to a dead stop. We can sort of catch you with those straps, but we don't like to do that. We like you to actually try and completely stop. So with this boat, small enough that we can have the owner bring it in bow first and not have any issues, but some boats are bigger, the forestays have to come down, or they actually have to reverse the boat in. Now, second most important thing is getting our straps in the right position. Some boats will actually have lift marks on the hull, usually a little black triangle. But with this one, we just needed to know exactly where the engine and, more importantly, the prop shaft were coming out. So I'm down there just making sure it all looks good. We've got them just behind the keel and just in front of the keel. And that all looks great, except for the growth. But hey, that happens. So now I'm going to go up and just check to see that the forward strap looks good. And with a quick glance, it does. So now I'm going to go ahead and speed this one up, and we're going to haul him out. The owner has already come off of the boat, because no, you cannot go on the magic boat lift ride. And we get him up into position, and now we're going to haul him up and get him over the land. Everything's looking good. The boat is straight up and down, and that's what we're ideally looking for. As we get him over the land, I'm just doing a second glance just to make sure everything looks okay before we go and start prepping to put it onto the rig. Now, on the bottom, you can see the straps are linked together with the big pin. We've got all the growth. Everything looks pretty good. Right in front of the keel, right behind the keel, and definitely nowhere near the prop shaft. Once we know that all looks good, we're getting it in position, and now it's time to get it onto the truck. Many boat yards are going to utilize every bit of space, and with a small boat like this, we can maneuver it in between other boats with the truck rather than doing it with the travel lift, which needs a lot of space on the side. So my job here is to eyeball it, make sure bringing the rig in just right. Jim does a fantastic job of driving this thing, and we're going to bring it in. The back trailer is split, so it can go right around the keel. You can see the big pads that are actually going to hold the boat while it's on this. Now the only question is, can we position it just right so that we're not getting on the straps with the pads? This usually takes a little bit of maneuvering, because you also have to leave room for the jack stands to be able to get underneath the stern and the bow so that we can pull the truck back out. Now, my job when we put the pads on is just to make sure he knows that he's actually touching the boat, and then also listening to make sure the hull isn't soft or anything like that. Give him a little yell, and we're looking pretty good. Now, the forward pads are going to go right onto the strap, so we're going to have to build up a little blocking system to hold the bow while we loosen that strap. And although this may look a bit rudimentary, all the weight of this boat is down in that keel, and it actually works out really, really well. This will be about the 200th boat we've hauled for the season. So we build up the blocks, we stick it in there, and now we can release the pressure off that forward strap, and then we'll put the pads right back on. At this point, we just back it in as tight as possible, and we're going to put jack stands under it, and that is it. Boat is now from the water to the land, safe and sound for the winter. Thanks for watching.